All right, black and yellow playing in the background. Great to see everyone here. It's always a fun track to get everyone hyped up for the town hall. So yes, it's been a minute. I think the last town hall we had was almost 2 months ago, so it has been quite a while. Um, we've been hard at work on a lot of things in the background. I think some of you may have seen it across our socials, on the Discord. Just making sure that operations and everything is up to speed before TGE. We're going to talk about a bunch of these things. We are joined today by the one and only Karam Lakshman. He is here to break down a lot of the stuff that we've been working on over the last couple of weeks. We are growing out the team as again. We had one round of team growing a couple of months ago, and now we're growing it again so that we can be more active in this space and have these spaces more often. So, if any of you are looking for roles in community management or anything to help out the project, drop us a ticket. We'd love to talk to you more about that. So let's get straight into it and talk about what is going on and what is happening with Dabba. Karam, is there anything you want to talk about before we get into it?
Yeah, I just want to say, hey everyone, it's been a minute, like Don said. We've been ridiculously hard at work, and over the next couple of weeks, you will see the fruits of all of that labor. I am ridiculously hyped for all of the stuff that's in the pipeline and coming along the way. More than anything, I just want to reiterate what Don just said, which is we are hiring across all roles. So we are also hiring across engineering roles, marketing roles, and operational as well. So if you know any talented folks that are looking to change the world a little bit, please point them in our direction. We absolutely want to talk to them for sure. So yeah, ready to kick it off.
Yes, sir. As always, this town hall is open to everybody. There will be a recording of this town hall available with, sorry, within the next 48 hours. Okay, my voice is gonna
We're
break
all
quite a few
coughing, so
times.
heads up. Anybody that's listening,
We
please prime your headphones on speakers. You're going to hear everybody coughing on this
everyone
call.
coughing, yes. So we have our hot teas, our chais are ready to soothe the throats. But yeah, so within the next 48 hours, you will have the recording. As always, if you have questions, look at the top right of your screen. You will see the chat box icon. Open that up. Type in your questions. We will answer everybody's questions. Towards the end, we will have a Q&A session. If you want to come on onto the stage and talk to us, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Also checking in, making sure everyone can see my screen and hear me. I see Kryptonite says that he is not able to hear me. Uh, if everyone else can hear me, Kryptonite, maybe you just want to refresh your Discord. If you're on Windows, it's Control R. If you're on Mac, it's Command R. That generally fixes it. Discord is a little finicky with these things. But yes, great to see everyone. And let's jump straight into it. Velvet Doctor, great to see you here. He's able to hear. And a lot of people said thumbs up, so I guess I'm audible. Let's jump straight into it. All right, first up on the list, DY Cats. Many of you know them, many of you follow them. I'm sure a lot of you hold their NFTs as well. We'll be kicking off our partnership with DY Cats very, very soon. Rumor is working very hard to make that happen. We have a lot of exciting things to come with that. We're going to be having a sponsored day of the week, plus some really cool legendary NFTs and auctions every week over the next 3 months. So there's going to be a lot of cool things coming out of that, and very similar to Drip House, where there's going to be discounts linked to some of these NFTs. So make sure you grab them up while they're available. Rumor, is there anything else you want to add on to this?
No, I think we covered all of it. I myself have hold a DUI cat, so they're bringing on staking, and you do get a portion of the auction rewards that they get. So watch out for this. It'll be live within a couple of weeks. Yeah, lots of perks for NFT holders, especially the ones in our ecosystem that we'll be launching with them soon.
Yeah, and I
Yep,
think like
going to be exciting.
if the response is anything like how Drip House was, this is going to be pretty cool. And I think we took all of the learnings of how we structured Drip House last time and brought it to this. So whoever ends up getting these DY cats are going to get really good deals. And if a bunch of people think it through, there's a bunch of ways to use these cats for a group of people to also get really good deals. So I would keep an
Wink,
eye out
wink,
for this
nod,
for
nod.
sure. Yeah, totally. This is a good one. We are learning, and deals are getting way better, and these partnerships, the crafting of them is getting better. So very excited.
Yeah, so much. I mean, looking back to like a couple of months ago from like say hotspotty to where we are now, it's definitely a journey upwards. We have
Yeah, like I
learned.
feel like, man, half of this town hall is like things that we cannot announce but will soon be announcing. Just like, yeah, you should know that this is just a tiny, tiny slice of the partnerships that you will see roll out over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, very true. And I think the focus that we, not the primary focus, but one of the things that we're really honing in on is these partnerships. We do understand how important they are. We've seen how these partnerships have really played a great role in not just sales, but also kind of promoting the project, occupying more people's mind space, etc., etc. It's been really, really important. So you're going to see a lot more of these partnerships coming out in the next couple of weeks for sure.
Yeah,
All
I think
right,
like,
on to the next. Oops, sorry.
oh,
Go ahead.
no,
Oh
one
no.
of the things that's a good outcome, wait, before we get to the laser, of like how good partnerships and generally we've been getting better at spreading the word was, I don't know if you saw the tweet that Superteam put out about Ignition Week, and I think we reposted that as well. It was remarkable. So, just for general context, Superteam Singapore did this thing where they invited about 10 companies, 10 projects roughly, to have amazing one-on-one time with basically the Singapore VC community and all of the crypto projects out there. Um, and what was remarkable about that was, first off, Super Team did a really good job. So totally props to the team over there. Nick and Kimmy did something amazing, especially for the first time around. Really excited about it. But the point of this is, it was amazing that I think 70% of the people that Shubes and I met over there knew who we were. We didn't really have to introduce ourselves to not just the people at the project, but the VCs, the market makers, the general people in the community. It was a really good sort of real world validation of when you meet up people in person, they've got a decent idea of what Dabba is. So we're really excited about that. So yeah, oh, that's the video. Yeah, if you guys get a chance, you should definitely check up on that. It's fun.
Yeah, pretty nice sleek video that the Super Team Singapore, the Singapore Super Team team made. But yes, Ignition Week was super crazy, was very insightful, and let's move
Mm.
on. Let me just full screen
Built a
this.
ton of relationships and partnerships that will soon show themselves after a couple of weeks, just based out of that one event.
Have any links to the job postings. So Kevin, we have a bunch of listings on Super Team Earn, and we also do have a hiring portal. So I think Rumor,
Yeah,
you can probably just
like
share
I'm
those links
pasting
in
the
chat.
link here also. It's careers.dabba.com. That contains a lot of them. You'll see that updated really quick, but pretty much anything that that covers, we are definitely hiring for.
Yes, sir. Web3 Node guys here. Hello, Dabba dudes. Hey,
What
Web3 Node dude. All right, on to the next bit of very exciting information. This is something that people continually ask, even though we try to put it off as much as possible. So we thought we'd share an update on the double laser, which has been super, super exciting. The double laser has been coming along quite well. Karam, you want to do some foreshadowing before I play this video?
Um, yeah, I think for anyone that's new here, it's just really helpful. A 10-second why is the laser so important, and what's so cool about it, and especially this milestone that you're going to see in this video. So the most expensive part about delivering internet at the end of the day is the underground fiber that sits under the roads and streets of most cities. This is the sort of core grid that your last mile internet connection to your home or office or whatever, this is where it comes from. Uh, in that stuff is crazy expensive and crazy time consuming to do. So what our laser does is lowers the cost by like 100x. It goes from right now laying underground fiber is like $100,000 per kilometer or something. We'll bring that down by a factor of 100. So the laser basically does this thing where it replaces all of this and allows us to build a grid of lasers on rooftops across the city and then deliver much cheaper connectivity that way. So the big milestone that you're going to see in this video is our Gen 3 of laser is almost 70% lower cost than Gen 2, is about half the size. And the most interesting thing and the coolest bit about it is it's auto aligning. So you can go to one rooftop, plonk down a laser in less than 10 minutes, go to another rooftop and do the same. One person can do this. And in less than 2 minutes, both the lasers will find each other and link up. And that's just crazy. Like I want you to think about today, if you want to dig like a 1 kilometer fiber optical cable, it'll cost you $100,000 to $200,000, a couple of weeks, if not months, and a ridiculous amount of paperwork. The laser will do that for you in like less than half an hour at about 100th of the price. So this is insane. So this is an update video of that project. We'll have way more to talk about this soon, but I think this is just a quick preview of what's happening right now.
Yeah, let's jump into it.
Someone steals my monsters constantly from the fridge.
Joe, dude, I think you are supposed to wear a seatbelt.
Yeah, so up here on the roof of 19th Main, I got up here very unceremoniously with the ops team helping me get up here on a very janky ladder. Our usual viewers, you might recognize this location. I've shot quite a lot over here with a lot of our other installations and whatnot. As you can see, there's something very interesting going down. We're installing the lasers, as we were talking about earlier. We also have the operations team over here. So the guys are helping mount these units. We're just getting all the mounts and everything set up. So you can see Aditya's putting the screws on the mounts.
Hey, so currently we are...
Yeah, sorry, is the audio fine? Can you guys hear it?
Yeah, works fine, man.
It's fine, but the volume's a little low.
Okay. I can't do much about that. I'm going to play the rest of the video. It's going to be live on YouTube after this. We'll share the link to it.
bolting this unit into place. The second unit will be mounted about 190 meters in that direction. Just to hammer home how difficult it is to line up these units. We need to be within about a 15 millidegree angle for the two laser beams to perfectly align at this range. That's the reason why we have to make sure that everything is absolutely solidly built. For the moment it's overbuilt, we'll bring down the weight and everything as is required. I've got a fairly rock solid mount here. Couldn't move it even if I wanted to. And that ensures that the units stay perfectly aligned even in adverse weather conditions.
Damn, you did well actually. I was hoping you'd trip.
Alright, the second laser is up and running. As you can see, it's nightfall. It's been a long day of testing, but it is up and running with a speed of around 10 Gbps, which is pretty cool. And this is a prime example of layer 0 deepen. We have backhaul running over here, and we have a weather station sitting on top of this network that is providing data for WeatherXM along with the internet services for this entire building. So exciting things to come. All right, so yes, that was kind of our update with the double laser. Sorry, go ahead.
And I just want to point out there are two things that are ridiculously amazing about that. The first is, one thing is, okay, it looks like it takes a lot of people to install that thing, but that's because that's one of the test rigs. To be clear, it's going to take one person to get it running, which you'll see over the next couple of videos. The second thing is, we're probably at some point going to open source the hardware of this, and you will see what an insane job that we've done at delivering 10 gigabits at such a low price point, and we're going to be probably applying for multiple patents around this thing. So I'm very, very excited, but we'll have way cooler updates coming soon.
Yeah, and I think Aditya also said in the video that this is purposely overbuilt and overconstructed just as a test unit. But yeah, Buckup says, looks prime for adoption by the Dawn project. Yeah, I'm
What is
always
your
looking to
project,
adopt
Don?
new lasers.
Yeah, I mean, we've got one running on Don's rooftop anyway.
there's,
So,
there's
like,
gonna be one town. There's gonna be a town hall, and it's just gonna be like, surprise, guys! It was me all along.
yeah.
But yes, Buck up, nail on the head. This can definitely be used for projects across the board, right? It's solution. It's meant to solve this problem of this middle mile connectivity. So definitely a lot of places this can fit into. Speaking of which, I also talked a little bit at the end of the video of how this kind of really leads into our laser deepen narrative on.
Someone steals my
Oops.
monster.
There we go. On things like WeatherXM and how we are leaning into this whole layer zero deepen narrative. Now, those of you who don't know and don't understand what I mean by layer zero deepen, I think Karam can give a really good, quick synopsis of what that really means and why we've been so bullish on this. So, Karam, why don't we just give the guys a quick rundown on what layer zero deepen means?
Yeah. So this is a really it's an interesting idea. A way to think about this is a framework to look at a lot of the deepen projects that are out there, and more specifically, it's how we sort of see where Wi-Fi Dabba fits in the broader crypto world and deepen in to be more clear. So a good way to think about deepen projects is in sort of three different layers. So layer two, right on top, is software that you install on hardware and that does something more useful with the hardware. So an example of this is Filecoin, right? You install this piece of software and it shares storage space. Or there are a ton of GPU projects out there. You install this piece of software and it adds your GPU to a pool of other GPUs that you get rewarded for. So it's software that makes your existing hardware more useful. That's like layer two, I'd say. Layer one is hardware that plugs into other hardware to make a thing, again, that's more useful. So really good examples of this is like HiveMapper and Helium, for example. Right? So HiveMapper, you buy HiveMapper, but you need to have a car to put your HiveMapper into, and it makes the car more useful, and that's how the thing works. So it requires some level of infrastructure to already be there. Layer zero, where Dabba operates, is we're building infrastructure where there is no infrastructure, right? You're building absolutely from scratch. And you'll see examples of layer zero in places like energy, connectivity, and serious basic infrastructure. Like I'm pretty sure you're going to see roadways and power plants and things like that coming online on DeepIn. So the great thing about layer zero, sort of where we sit, is you'll find a lot of layer zero projects in emerging markets. And this is because that infrastructure doesn't exist. That's obviously where the opportunity is. But the thing that makes layer zero deepens very special is one is they are long lived by definition because you're building something that is going to be used for a long period of time because it's core infrastructure. The second is everything else that comes after this, other deepens and other projects, sit on top of you because you need that basic layer to begin with. And then therefore, the returns and the value that accrue happen over an insanely sticky long period of time and are way higher because it also captures the value of the layers on top of it. So a really concrete way to think about this with Dabba and what we're doing is we already have all of these partnerships with all of these LCOs, and we're already deploying all these units, and we've got this distribution system and on-ground teams who know how to do stuff, and it's amazing, right? So think about the amount of time and effort it takes for a team to go drag a fiber optical cable from the nearest switch to someone's house, plug in a Wi-Fi router, and give them an internet connection. If you're going to do that, you might as well install a weather sensor there, for example, because using that same distribution infrastructure, you can now layer value added and help other deepen projects reach new audiences and sort of create more value for yourself as a platform. So one of the first ways that we're going to do this, and you're going to see us do this in a lot of ways, is we're doing it with WeatherXM because India doesn't have that much weather coverage as of yet, and WeatherXM is doing really good work. In fact, there are government tenders that the Indian government has out saying, hey, please deploy like a weather station so the government can buy the data to begin with. So, because we have this distribution advantage and this ridiculously open market, the same way that we have for Wi Fi, we're going to blanket the country with weather devices along the way. So we, over the last couple of weeks, we've been deploying and have seen about 30, 40 Weather XM units. There's one on top of my house right now, as a matter of fact. Um, and we've made sure that they've been running really well, sorted out operational issues and that sort of thing. We will be deploying nearly close to 1,000 of them across the country over the next couple of weeks. Shipment is in the air. It lands any moment. 1,000 devices will be shipped to the office over the next couple of days. So I'm pretty sure Don's going to share photos of the office where you're just going to see like nothing but stacks and stacks of boxes. But we're going to be deploying this over the next couple of weeks. We have really exciting bundles and offers for these two things that you'll see over the next couple of weeks as we launch them out. Sorry, I was looking at questions in the chat, which I'll get to in a second. But you'll see us coming up with cool offers and bundles to be announced fairly soon. One of the fun things that we're doing with all of the different projects that you're going to see us partner with is we're building these really cool little micro sites and specialized tasks and quests and things along those lines for each one of them. So you'll see the bundles and special offers for that on that soon. So yeah, we're really excited about this. We think this is one step forward in sort of establishing ourselves as a layer zero infrastructure platform that other deepins can use to approach the Indian market and also, you know, for new things to happen. To give you a clear sense of it, of how clearly we are approaching this, like, so Shubs and I were, and even Joe, were in Shenzhen a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, 2 months ago. We pretty much looked at a lot of the major deepen projects out there and the ones coming up. And we did a very clear build versus buy study where we visited as many factories as we could to see what it actually takes to manufacture those. And those projects that have great unique advantages and good communities and that sort of thing we'll partner with. But if there's hardware that we think that we can just roll out ourselves and fold into the Dabba network, we're going to do that as well. So you're going to see years worth of innovation and deployment in just this one direction. So yeah, that was a question. Well, the doctor. How does Dabba benefit by deploying WeatherXM nodes? Do they give tokens as incentive or some kind of revenue? Could you clarify? Yes, the microsite coming very soon. You will see the offers there. Please give us your feedback. We'll do a community preview share before it goes public. So yeah, we can get your feedback on what you guys think about that. I think it'll make for a ridiculously fun discussion because this ain't going to be the only thing that takes advantage of our layer zero platform. So yeah, worth a chat. Yeah, Don, you said
for sure.
what I think.
Awesome. And yeah, just to add on Velvet Doctor that yes, there will be a token share. As Karam said, we will have the microsite up and running that will kind of describe these details, put these details down. But it's not just about the tokens, it's also the fact that now we can involve these other ecosystems into our own ecosystem, right? And the fact that we can now kind of cross-pollinate and open up offers to these other communities will also help us in a lot of ways as well. So definitely some win-win from both communities, and excited to see this kick off. Let's get to the next one. All right, the next exciting thing to talk about is deployments. Karam said BRB is going to be right back. So yes, deployments have been ramping up quite substantially over the last couple of weeks, the last month or so actually. You will start to see these numbers increase drastically on the Explorer. Now, why did this happen and what led to this? So the initial idea when we were onboarding LCOs is LCOs would start bringing on their new customers to the network. They have an existing network, say they have around 1,000 subscribers, and every new customer would now be a customer through the Dabba network. That was the initial concept. Now, about a month and a half ago, the entire dev team made a trip to Islampur. This is where one of our first LCOs is operating. So they went down there and and they took a look at the entire, software stack, how the LCO is operating, and made a lot of adjustments in helping them with better tools, better billing for customers, etc., etc. Right? A complete rehaul of their system, which is what took quite a bit of time. Now, the result of that has been extremely positive. The LCO is super happy, and customers are super happy, to such an extent that the LCO is now like, okay, we'll bring on our new customers, but can I port my existing network onto Dabba as well? Which is great. That means thousands and thousands of new customers per LCO will just onboard to the Dabba network, and you're going to see those numbers start flowing into the Explorer over the next couple of weeks. The devs are just making the last adjustments to that. Once Karam is back, he'll talk a little bit more about that because there's a new Explorer that's coming. So you'll see this. Sorry, you'll see all these great things start popping up with the new Explorer as well. Um, we have some questions. So the same concept of network of networks. Um, Oh, I think you're talking about the layer zero deepen thing. Kind of, yes. Network of networks. It's base infrastructure, right? This is when Karam talks about layer zero deepen, it's layer zero infrastructure. This is infrastructure that's not going to go away anytime soon. Think of it like your roadways, electricity grids, and stuff like that. Once it's put up, it's there forever. People need it. They will not let it be taken away. It's a public good, so it is there. So that's a good way to look at this. Um, Yes, our next LCOs are also being prepped for onboarding. Considering the amazing progress we've had with Swami Wi-Fi, and you can see a little picture over here. So this is Mr. Mohin Jadhav. He is the proprietor of Swami Wi-Fi. The entire marketing team spent a week in Islampur over the last week. Rumor was also there. We had a great time shooting a bunch of content. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But this is his entire team, literally in front of his office in Islampur. Velvet Doctor. If the existing customer are onboarded, then are you going to replace the routers in their places with Dabba? How does this work? Yes, slowly and over time. Some of these devices are compatible with the network, so some devices can be flashed. Some devices will be replaced. But the objective over time is to replace all devices. It won't happen overnight. It'll take some time. But slowly, yes, devices will be replaced over time. And Gmap. So creating multiple tokens, single token always helpful in confusion. I do see that the Helium started multi-tokens. Now back to a single token is always helpful. Yes, Gmaverick. So just to be clear, this is not multi-token. It's still one token. These are other projects that are sitting on top of us, and you can also participate in those projects and get their project tokens, right? If you are opting into their project, we're still a one token project. That has not
Yeah,
changed.
yeah. We're nowhere near going down a sub DAO or network of tokens or that sort of thing anytime soon. Simplicity is the name of the game.
Yeah. So just imagine like there's a WeatherXM slash the Dabba bundle. You get a Dabba device and a WeatherXM device. On the WeatherXM device, you get WeatherXM tokens. On the Dabba device, you get DBT tokens. So it won't be multiple tokens of the ecosystem. The ecosystem still has one token, but there are other projects as a part of that ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Velvet Doctor said. Enough chats. Glad I jumped into this point. Okay, Don, did you talk about new and existing customers, like the principal?
Yes, we talked about how the dev team spent a couple of weeks, about a month and a half ago, rehauled the entire system, and existing network is onboarding. But if you want to jump into it a
Yeah.
bit more, go ahead.
There are 2 points that I want to make
I'm gonna
about
get
why existing customers is such a crazy important thing. Uh, so the first is it we will be able to bring in more supply before hotspots get sold. Uh, and this has two knock-on effects that are incredibly powerful. Number one, when we sign up a new LCO and they bring their existing network on board, the first thing that happens is we grow in nice big bursts, right? We'll get a couple of thousand subscribers immediately, plus new subscribers as they get. So that growth target is really good. The second thing is all of that revenue will flow through the Dabba network and thereby contribute to burn. So tokens will be getting burned even if hotspots haven't been bought as yet. So this is incredibly important, right? The value of the network is not so dependent on people buying hotspots at an ever accelerating rate as a result of this. So this is a really, really important point. The second thing that's incredibly cool about this is that this allows us to fulfill that chain of instant gratification is the wrong word, but I think like it's really like this layer zero deepen concept. One of the things that has always frustrated me about most hardware-based deepen projects is you order it, you probably pre-order it because everyone's doing things in seasons, or and the next version is always launching soon. So you pre-order it, it arrives at your house 2 months later. You spend like a day and a half setting it up, and then most people run in, well, not most people, but a certain percentage of people run into a bug or some sort of foreign help or that sort of thing, and then they get it up and running the next day, and then rewards start to flow in. And that's great for a lot of people who are tech enthusiasts and things along those lines, which I'm sure a huge part of early adopter communities are. But in order to get Web 2 people involved and the broader crypto community and more people interested, you want to have a much smoother system with your Deepin project where you buy the device and you instantaneously start earning, getting rewarded with tokens for your contribution, right? So if ISPs bring on if LCOs bring on their existing customers and we're able to make that grow faster than the rate of hotspots sales that happen, we'll be able to accomplish this very cool thing where you purchase your hotspot, and you instantaneously select the location that you prefer because you can see the existing customers that are already there, and then you start earning rewards instantaneously. So this is incredibly important because when you tighten the loop between purchase and reward, you also tighten trust between the hotspot owner and the network and that sort of thing. Like every study has always showed, page load speeds matter an enormous amount, and quick commerce is showing the future of, like here in India, our 10-minute grocery delivery apps now deliver 10-minute everything. I can buy a PlayStation and it'll be here in, let's say, 14 minutes in the rain. I can buy a Christmas tree, which I just did because Christmas is coming up, and Blinkit's going to deliver that in 10 minutes, right? And they are eating Amazon's share day by day. So I think Deepin servicing and experience has to follow this, where you cut this lag between you purchasing the Deepin hardware and then it actually being deployed and you actually earn rewards out of this. So I think this is a deeply underrated but crazy important thing that will pay off dramatically over time. So yeah, sorry. That was what I wanted to add. Do you want to continue on this? Do you want to take questions? How do you want to do this, Tom?
Yes. We can take questions as we go. So I think Velvet Doctor has a question. What is the incentive for existing customers to move from the current ISP to the Dabba network?
The ISP is moving. The customers are moved along with him. He's rebranding his network to Dabba, and so the 100% acquisition of his existing base. Could you elaborate more on the acquisition model for the LCOs? Yes, it is straightforward. There is a line out the door of LCOs that want to join the Dabba network for the support and the exposure and the hardware and the growth that we're going to help them make. So our thing is more about making sure we have a social referral system in place where each LCO is vouching for the next one. So not only do we have all of the protections that we have in the protocol level and otherwise, but you also want a social cohesion. So for us, acquisition model is more about making sure there's a social trust layer there also. Hints on DBT staking, excellent foreshadowing. I will have words to say about this a tiny bit when we talk about New Explorer, but more detail will come later. Yeah.
On to the next.
On to the next.
All right. So as I discussed earlier, we spent the entire week last week in Islampur with Swami Wi-Fi, And just to expand a little bit more on what Karam was talking about, how these LCOs are super happy with kind of the service and working with us. We were blown away by the reception we got in Islampur, right? Mr. Mohan is a very well respected person of his community. He has a lot of things on his plate. He does a lot of things, but yet he made sure that he was with us every day from pretty much early in the morning. Like our call times were like 4 in the morning and wrapping up at like 12, 1 at night. So he was with us the entire time because he saw that true value. So definitely truly inspiring to see that. We're going to have some great content coming out of Islampur. The main focus is to kind of tell the story of who are these LCOs, what drives them, why are they joining the Dabba network, what do these networks even look like in these rural areas, so on and so forth. So you can see on the left, that's actually Mr. Mohan. We did a fun shot in the middle of a sugarcane field, which ties into some of the stuff we're doing with WeatherXM. So a whole bunch of stuff we'll be sharing. And on the right, you can see the boy band picture of the marketing team landing with a bunch of new devices to offload. So a lot of new content plus local promos that we're working on for Swami Wi-Fi as well. So we're also going to be experimenting with marketing across these local areas for new customer acquisition and the likes. Because as the network grows, these are services we want to offer to our LCOs as well. So this is a great starting point. Expect to see those videos coming out in the next couple of weeks. Um, yeah, that's it for the shoot from Islampur. And then next we have our new explorer. Uh, yeah, Karan, why don't you take this away? This is your wheelhouse.
Yeah, so absolutely. So new Explorer coming in the next couple of weeks. Basically, it is just going through a security audit at the moment because as we prepare for the TGE and especially with sexes and a whole bunch of other things, there's a bunch of auditing process we have to go through. So that stuff is getting finished up, and the new Explorer will launch when that is done. Now, the new Explorer is going to be very cool because it's going to definitely be more simplified and a little clearer and highlight the value of the network infinitely better. It will also have much better visualizations of where hotspots are located, what kind of data consumption is happening, and that sort of thing. I have no idea what that bubble is. I think my camera is doing some cool things, but whatever. So better visualizations, better overall clarity, better in line with the brand. You will be able to connect your wallet. So everything's running on testnet at the moment. So you'll be able to connect your wallet. You will be able to mock test deploy your Dabbas and choose your LCO and pay your maintenance fees. We have a whole bunch of staking tools in place. You will be able to claim rewards. You'll be able to go through pretty much every single one of those things. And of course, we want your feedback on it before it full on launches when the TGE happens. One of the most exciting things about this is you're going to see a little more of what we're talking about when it comes to this layer zero perspective and that sort of thing, where there are actually a couple of tiny hidden Easter eggs that I can see on the screenshot, but I don't know how many people will catch it. But anyway, one of the cool things that is there is you're going to now see multiple layers, right? So you're going to see the Dabba lights as they are at the moment, and of course a bigger size because by that time existing customers from Swami will also be added plus other stuff. You will now be able to see the lasers, which are trying to get deployed in the field, and you'll be able to see how we're saving money, saving bandwidth, the amount of thing, the uptime for the lasers. We'll finally be able to show like laser data public so people can get a sense of how reliable and all of that are. Of course, you'll now see an entirely new weather layer because of the almost 1,000 WeatherXM units that are going to be deployed across the country. So we're really excited about this as well. To be clear, just to reiterate, with this layer zero thing, look, our goal in life is not to sell as many WeatherXM as possible or other deepen projects. Our goal is to build out connectivity. We see these other projects as a great way to sell into their communities and of course help their community as much as we can as well. But also we see that if you are a platform layer and you have other people sitting on your top of your platform, over time value will accrue. Like, don't worry about it too much right now. We don't need to tie in the token. We don't need to do a DAO. We don't need to do any of that. We just need to build out this fantastic distribution system with this diverse ecosystem of devices, and we'll sort out how well they all play together in the coming time as we go by. So yeah, as you can tell, the other thing that's going to come on board, and Dawn has been, I think it took Dawn a lot of time to knock it through our heads of how important this was, and you'll see this launch along with the Explorer, which is we're going to have our own in-house questing platform as well. Because so we've tried other questing platforms that a lot of other projects are using. Some are good, some are bad, but we think that we can build a way better experience for people that want to participate in the project, but not necessarily have the ability to buy a hotspot or want to buy a hotspot for now, or they want to help in other ways. There are tons of people that have got tons of hotspots that want to help, like all of you in the call, that want to help the project in other ways, but we haven't made it easy for you to help us at all. So thanks to Dawn, we're going to have like a now rock solid, nice platform that will come with the Explorer that will help you do a lot of things. And a lot of this stuff is also the base layer of infra that's being built for the TGE that's upcoming, right? Because we've got to build out our socials to a certain level. And there are a bunch of metrics that you're going to see us hit over the next couple of weeks. So yeah, deeply excited about Explorer. Going to be a crazy bunch of new functionality, ton of discussion and feedback that we would love to get from you, especially with how we're dealing with staking and other cool tools. Because one of the lessons that we took to heart, so we've been talking to a ton of project founders that have launched their tokens recently, right? You know, like a week after their TGE happened and that sort of thing. And pretty much everybody comes back with just two pieces of advice. One is, no matter how much you think you are doing to market the project and build awareness and all of that, you're not doing enough. Do more. And the second thing that everyone had is make sure that there are useful things that people can do with the token after the TGE. So we have made damn sure that we've built in solid infrastructure where we can establish the utility of the token in a meaningful manner. So you're going to see all of that. One of the, yeah, that's what I want to say. Don, you want to add anything about what you've seen of the Explorer so far, or should we get to the questions?
It looks super slick. It is very informative, which I think is super important and really drives home the information. In terms of questing and quests, I think I should give Rumor the props here for kind of driving home that point. I think we've all, been through the trenches with Galax and pretty much. I mean, name a platform. Yeah, they're all bad. So
well, they're not
definitely
bad. They're just structured differently.
Yeah, I mean they're janky as all hell. So I'm sure we can do a much better job, and I mean we are. So it's gonna look super super exciting on that side. A couple of questions over here. Ironbridge had a very interesting question, which was, "This is an extremely positive call. If you had a magic wand, what do you need?"
Oh my god. I appreciate that you think this. Yeah, this is a good way to summarize how we're thinking of it is we had a 10-second staff meeting about like a week ago, and I can tell you what our staff meeting was. We gathered everyone around, and I'm like, listen, things are going well. Everybody do your damn job and everything will be fine. Thank you for attending this meeting. Things are going good. Of course, if we had a magic wand, we would want to accelerate every single angle that we're talking about. Please help us recruit way faster. If you can wave a wand and get us great candidates for engineering, for BD, for marketing, for communications, for video, for operations, for hardware, for firmware, for customer, if you can make, look, all kidding aside, on every level, if we could raise a magic wand and accelerate everything that we could do, we would love to be able to do that. Yes, things are firing good. But as with anything, today is one of those rare days when things are going well and I'm super upbeat. I'm sure we'll all wake up tomorrow and find something is on fire and be like, So I think what you're getting the vibe on this call is that rare moment where, okay, everything's doing well. So yes,
it could also be the tea speaking.
It could also be the tea and the exhaustion from all of the things that are happening that are speaking. Yeah.
I like how Karam actually had that staff meeting and said, everybody, make sure shit gets done. Nobody's taking off. We all need to make sure everything is done. The next week, the entire marketing team was out of office, and this week, everyone is sick. So,
Yeah. So magic wand. If you've got a healing pill for coughs, cold, in Bangalore's weather right now, please send.
maybe some
Um,
strepsils to the throat. Yeah, I have a bunch over
oh
here.
yeah,
But
I have here also. But more is always appreciated. How will we pick
yes,
locations for Weather XM? Yeah, so this is a really cool conversation to be had. Um, so you're going to see them deployed across the country. WeatherXM had a lot to contribute to with sort of guidelines, and you can find a lot of these guidelines on their website and that sort of thing, of ideal locations for the units. So there are things like, for example, you want them at least 2 kilometers apart from each other. You want them at least a certain height above ground level, and a certain distance between things like that. So based on those parameters, and thanks to the generally countrywide distribution network that we have access to, you're going to see us deploy them across the country. There will be some areas where they will be a little more densely packed than other areas, because one of the things that WeatherXM has found is some people that buy the WeatherXM data want hyper-local data to one particular region. So they've given us great indicators of, hey, we would like things to be installed over here with higher density, and otherwise you can do it across the country, and you can do it with these sort of general parameters. So Shubs and I were actually having a call just before this to finalize those parameters. But short answer, mostly across the country, but with certain dense patches because of the new kinds of products that they're going to be launching and the new types of data that they're going to be selling.
yeah. Yeah, exciting times ahead. Lots to do. I think there's one slide before we get into the next one. There's one thing we didn't really talk about is our marketing initiatives have been picking up really well. I think you guys have been seeing the content and how our Twitter has been way more active. We have a lot more engagement, but this is still stepping stones. We still have a long way to go. You're going to see a significant ramp up again over the next couple of months with more content creators, a lot more curated content, and a lot more people talking to us. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. Volcom is asking forever making a trip back to the States. Maybe next year for sure. We'll definitely be coming around for different events and stuff like that. As always, we will keep everyone in the loop. So let me get on to the next slide, which is the question on everybody's mind: when token, right? I think that is kind of what everyone wants to know about and wants to know more about. So just a couple of just off the top important things to kind of highlight is that we are finalizing a new launch pad. Jupe is rolling back their LFG, so Karam and Shubs had a great conversation with Jupe when they were in Singapore. Karam will talk more about that and kind of what's happening there. Jupe has been very supportive, but I think they have a lot of their own products to focus on, and they have their own roadmap. LFG is not really a part of that at the moment, so we definitely have another partner that we're looking at for launching. We will be talking about it soon. We cannot talk about anything until papers are signed and we can give all you guys a very clear understanding of how these things will work. But we are working tirelessly to make that happen, and we will have updates on that soon. As always, as before, what we said, we are still working towards a DEX plus SEX launch simultaneously. So we are talking to exchanges as well. Exchange announcements, as usual, I'm sure you've seen with other projects, that will come much closer to TGE because that's also generally how a lot of these exchanges work as well. But look out for those announcements. Launch dates and TG dates to be confirmed soon, the moment we have clarity on when these, what the platform is that we're going to be launching on. And once we have these dates locked in and papers are signed, we'll definitely be able to talk more about that and give you guys updates on dates. But rest assured, these are not delays because, we're unable to reach a TG. It's because good things are happening. We're making great new partnerships. All these events that we've been taking part of, plus the partnerships that we've been part of, has opened up the gates to a lot more communities, a lot more other projects that we will be working with that have shown us a lot of support, and we want to do this right. I think I've said this many times. You only get to launch once, and we want to make sure that we do a great job at launching this. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. I'll hand it over to Karam if you'd like to add a couple more lines on this.
Yeah, I think you nailed it on the head. It's not so much about we could absolutely commit to a TGE date and launch on that day, but as awareness is building of Dabba, we're getting way better partnerships and distribution channels and things that result in a much healthier, much stronger, much bigger network in time for the TGE. The second thing is on a very practical level. The exchanges that we're talking to now are infinitely better than the exchanges that we were talking to months ago. So on every level, whether it's LFG, the launchpad, or whether it's the centralized exchange, or whether it's a partner, every single one of these things is at a higher level than it was about a month and a half ago, even. We're gaining at a really good rate. So as a result, we are not sort of clearly saying, hey, this is the TG date. We will say it very, very soon, as Don mentioned. Another way to look at this is we're not looking to time things according to a cycle or what the hype of the moment is. Like, this is something that we have been building for quite a while, and we will continue to build for the next few decades. So we don't look at it as, oh, while it's a bear cycle, hunker down and build and then launch in a bullish cycle and that sort of thing. We launch when things are in place, and we're really happy to say things are definitely falling into place. And we're confident that this would be worth it.
Yeah. For sure. We've I think a synopsis of this entire call is we've been hard at work. There's a lot of stuff that we've been doing. In fact, there's a lot more that we'd like to talk about. Like Karam said, that we will be talking about soon. A lot more partnerships coming out. A lot more things with the token launch plus marketing, socials, etc., etc. So we are full steam ahead. It's going to be an exciting week. This week we have Unfold and India Blockchain Week also taking place. So Shubs is going to be taking part tomorrow. He's judging for Unfold. I think he's judging the demo day for Unfold. He's going to be taking part in
She's on a
uh,
couple of panels. I think basically
a
one
couple of panels, yeah.
every day or
So
something.
there's yeah. So pretty much every day there's either a panel or something that is happening or side event over the next week. So that's really good. One of the things that we'll be talking about really soon, probably in the next town hall, is our lead up to building out Indian ecosystem. We've seen immense support and immense excitement from India and communities in India, and we definitely want to create ways for people to easily participate in our project from India and
Oh, yeah, which reminds me, the one thing that I want to throw in that we are definitely going to do at some point, and ideally in the next couple of months at most, is we definitely want to do a IRL event for sure. Whether that's like a deep in APAC type event or just dedicated to Dabba or things like that, because we've also met a ton of projects and other people that are happy to support such a thing and be a part of it. We genuinely believe we can pull together a useful event for other deep in projects, people in the crypto space, investors, and other people, where everyone will come to the event, learn things worth learning, and walk away with something of genuine value. So, yeah, just a heads up. We are definitely going to do an IRL event for sure.
yes, and everyone is invited.
Yes,
We,
all of you are invited for sure.
we don't know when or where that'll be, but there's definitely been a lot of exciting discussions around that. But yes, we are looking forward to kind of ramping up our Indian ecosystem as well. So that's super exciting. It's going to be a lot of work because India is a big place and there's a lot of people in India and there's a lot of stuff we can do. So looking forward to that. So yeah, let's head over to questions. Guys, if you have questions, start loading them up in chat. Um, You can ask those
Oh,
questions in chat. If you want to come up to the stage and ask a question, you can see the hand icon on the top right of the screen. Be more than happy to have you come up on stage and talk to us if you'd like. Now is the time for us to get into questions. Karim, you want to take the first one from Velvet Doctor?
oh yeah. Oh wait, before that, Backup asked, are they WeatherXM models Wi-Fi, Laura? Wi-Fi, yo. Synergy, baby. They sit on top of our network, so Wi-Fi for sure. Velvet Doctor, you want to launch in a bull cycle because but launching in a bull cycle will always help us in getting exposure 10x faster. Yeah, absolutely. Cycles can make or break crypto. We don't want to rush, but we don't want to miss the bull market. Yeah, for sure. I'm not saying that, hey, we're gonna like be slow on this or whatever, but it's sometimes it's easy to confuse what is urgent versus what is important. And yes, we are moving as fast as we possibly can to make these things happen. But we think that the little things that we're doing that have delayed it a little bit are worth doing. They will add a 10x impact to that one way or the other.
Yeah, I think
Um,
a good way to look at it is we need to find that balance. We shouldn't take hasty decisions just based on trends. It still is important, but we are being very careful about this and weighing those decisions. So, yes, exactly what Karam said.
yeah,
Yes,
I
so
mean, we're
any other
cognizant of the
questions?
idea that a rising tide lifts all boats. So, for Dan Shaw.
Yeah, so any other questions? I like how we're pretty much at 12 on the dot. I wanted to start off by saying, do you think we will actually close out in an hour? We have a habit of overextending. I think we've done a good job in staying in time on this one. Volcom is typing a question, so let's wait for that to come out. No pressure, Volcom. I'm pulling out my Dabba chai cup for the future town halls. Thanks, guys. Yeah, please do join us. We should also have our Dabba cup soon. So we will join you in that chat. Doop, doop, doop. So I think Mike is typing questions. So we'll take a couple of questions before we close out.
Mm. Yeah, I think
I- In the
I'm
meantime,
waiting for
Rumor, is there
someone to
anything
invent
else?
telekinesis.
Just learn what you want to say.
No, or like that Elon Musk brain implant thing. That'd be cool too.
What's it called?
Neuralink.
Neuralink.
Neuralink, yeah.
Huh.
Mike asks, great project, guys. Any plan to add GeoNet to the list?
Yeah, so interesting conversations. GNSS is very much in our roadmap at the moment. Much to say about that soon. Needless to say, we've had conversations with a bunch of people. GeoNet being one of them for sure.
What about wing bits for
Good question,
ADSB?
Bug Up. Let's just say the logical conclusion of evaluating GeoNet answers ADSB as well. Yeah, flight tracking is also of deep interest. As I said, we have this checklist of deepen use cases and deepen projects that either we will participate with or we will deploy ourselves, one of the
Wink, wink, nod, nod.
two.
All right. So I guess that's all the questions we have. Guys, thank you all so much for joining in. We appreciate your continued support as always, your patience through the months. We've been working hard and we love to see your support behind it. We're going to have a lot of great things coming out in the next couple of months, a lot of stuff that you guys can participate in, from quests to content to town halls like this. So please keep an eye out. As always, if you have any questions after this, feel free to drop them in any of the channels on Discord, wherever those questions are relevant. Rumor will make sure that the recording is up within the next 48 hours. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for joining in. Have a safe week, and we will catch you all very, very soon.
Thank you all for your support and see you on the next call.